June meeting of the Caryville Mayor and Board of Aldermen to order. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Kinley.
Here.
Mr. Eric Jones.
Here.
Mr. Eric Smith. Ms. Beth Lawson. Here. Mr. Dwayne Gibson. Mr. Lloyd Lawson.
Here.
Mayor Stixberry.
Here, we do have a quorum. Warren, would you say an opening prayer for us, please, sir?
Yeah. Dear Heavenly Father, as we bow in your presence, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the many blessings of life you bestowed upon each and every one of us. Now lead, guide, directing us and the council, God, that they give them wisdom, that they may make the decisions that's necessary to the city of Caryville. These favors we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you, sir. All right, for approval of the May minutes, give everybody a few minutes to look over the minutes of the May meeting, also the meeting, the special meeting we had for the second reading of the budget. Everybody had a chance to, you were just a minute to get back. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Anybody need additional time? Do I hear a motion we approve them as presented? Motion made. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Okay, citizens input. Anybody have anything to bring before the council?
Yeah, I know one didn't get her grant.
Okay, you talking about the home grant? All right, that is number 4 on the agenda, Farron, and the two folks right here are here to hopefully explain all that to you, okay?
Are there another one coming up?
I don't know, we'll find out from them shortly. Okay, anybody else have anything? Oh, Ruth Ann? All right, communication from the mayor. Okay, as you all know, the ATV ordinance goes into effect July 1. And had communication today from Jim Jeffries with Siegel File that the signs that we ordered will be here, the week of the 19th, which will be next week. So hopefully, street department will be having enough time to get all those put up. By July 1, we'll try our best to, weather permitting, get those put up. Now, the ordinance lists some of the rules and regulations that everybody's going to have to follow, as far as, but there's several of them that I'm going to reiterate to everybody that what has to be done in order to take advantage of this to be able to ride on the road. Operators shall be 16 or older and have a valid driver's license or accompanied by an adult. So if you have a child under 16, as long as there's an adult with them, you're good. Riding times are 30 minutes before dawn and 30 minutes after dusk, so especially daylight to dark is the riding times. You must stay on the designated and posted roads. You must carry liability insurance and be able to provide proof if requested. Just like you're driving a car, you've got your little insurance card with you, you need to have that with you at all times. All riders must wear a protective helmet or type-approved Tennessee Department of Transportation. Now that is a state issue, but as long as you're inside the city limits of Caryville, you're going to have to wear, as far as I'm concerned, that goes, everybody's going to have to wear a helmet. Must lawfully obey all rules of road applicable to other motor vehicles, operating in a safe manner. We will have safety checkpoints along, not every day, but along, to check, make sure everybody is compliant. Everybody has to be subject to all rules, laws as they go. And any violation of the state laws and rules listed here may result in loss of privileges to operate the vehicle on the specified paved road. So, everybody, if everybody, and I know there's going to be 90% of the people is going to be just fine. Everybody's going to do what they're supposed to do, but you always have that element that don't want to comply. But they will be dealt with accordingly. They will have to comply with the rules. So I just want everybody to understand that, and I believe it's going to be a good thing for Caryville. There's no doubt that I think it's going to be good for everybody concerned. Also, I have pictures up here. I have a couple for the media also of the work that CJUC did at Ivy Grove Church. We had the water problem up there. Council can see the pictures that they've done. They have went up there and done some work to help alleviate the water problem up there, and just what I see here, it looks like they did a fine job. It looks good. So, you got your copy? Okay. But I think they did a fine job. Lloyd,
It looks good. The people at the church are waiting.
Well, I really haven't had a chance to talk to anyone. So Eric probably would have been here tonight. I'm sure he probably had a work issue, or he would have been here and he could have he could relate the church's feelings on this. So
It looks good.
it does. Okay, the building at Asbury Park has been completed, and I think the gentleman done a fine job on it, and the roof on the picnic shelter has been completed. The weather held up, so we got it done in a timely manner. Lord, if you had a chance to go by and look at it, Beth, if you had a chance to look at it, I think you did a fine job on it. I think, Patrick, you've seen it. But, yeah, everything, and like I said, that was sorely needed, and that got done very quickly too, so that helped a lot. All right, financial report. Ms. Tracy?
For the month of May 2017, our bank account balances in the general fund is $505,754.83. Reserved for special fire protection fees, $97,764.11. Reserved for rainy day fund, $45,000. The adjusted general fund balance, $362,990.72. In the state street aid fund, $53,318.89. In the industrial fund, $868.89. In the drug fund, $7,983.78. For the month of May, in our general fund revenue and expenditures, our revenue was $140,169.11. Our expenditures, $99,970.38, with a difference of $40,198.73, which is very good for the month of May.
So good. Okay, we should be about somewhere around 95% of the budget, and we're at 87, so we are under budget total. Okay. Our motion to approve the financial report.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, reports from council members. Mr. Lawson?
I don't have my report, I guess they'll, I know they've been busy, they took, we picked garbage if I don't have we don't have it picked up. They've done quite a bit of mowing and, got the cemetery cleaned up, and I want to thank our, Jones and the, sheriff department for making that happen. And, I talked to David about building over at Asbury Park. He kept me informed on it, and he said they done a good job on that. So, and that's about all I have.
Okay, I know they picked up a lot of brush.
Yeah, they've been busy. I don't know if they had a meeting to go to. I don't know if that was.
Is that the day, David?
David and Greg, when they went to a meeting, it was.
Oh, yes, they are. Yes,
Was
I was
that
on
today?
vacation, so Greg and Tim and the other one's gone too.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going tonight, yeah.
Okay, that's where they,
Yeah.
all right. Ms. Beth?
All right, the library, let's see, we had 408 people that came to the library this month. 43 people for the story time. The total number of items checked out was 2,150, 222 computer users. They added 128 items and removed 192. They issued 23 new library cards. They borrowed 54 items from other libraries, and they loaned 2 items to other. And Logan, our new lady that's in there, she's doing a great job. She did that report for me today, so she's doing a good job.
All right,
I have to place it, but.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, let's see, there was 277 complaints with 17 arrests, 1 escort. They issued 51 citations and patrolled 9,841 miles. They had 11 drug arrests and worked 23 accidents.
They had a busy month too,
A very
didn't they?
busy month.
All right, Eric, fire department? Go in, bud.
Auto accident with injury was 2, without injury was 3, and 4 vehicle fires, 1 house fire without injury. Mutual aid was given 1 time, received 3 times, had 1 tractor trailer fire, had 12 calls, 56 men for a total of 203 men.
So, fire department busy too. All right, do I hear a motion to approve all reports from all departments?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Motion on, Beth and Patrick. Okay, old business. Anybody have any old business come before council? Okay. New business. Number 1, council discuss hiring Andy Davis full-time to the police department. Chief Key.
Randy came to work on February 27th. Caryville Police Department started his 9-day probation period. He's qualified and appropriate for the position. Background check was conducted. He's answered 220 calls, wrote 59 citations, 19 drug arrests, and 19 drug citations and 19 arrests with 5 drug arrests also. He's done very well since he's been here for 90 days. To hire him full time.
I'll make the motion that we hire.
Okay. I'll second. Discussion?
I'll make the motion that we hire Andy Davis.
Okay.
I'll do it.
All right, that's fine. Discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith? Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes. Motion carries. Number 2, council discuss hiring Teresa Kendrick full-time to finance administration department. So I guess that comes to me, since so far, now I'm just talking for myself, I've kind of took an informal poll of the council members and department heads. Everybody says you're doing a fine job so far. Everybody understands it's a big job, and there's a lot to learn, and you can't learn it all in 3 months. So it's going to take time. I think you said you talked to the CMFO trainer. He said, what, 3 years?
He said 3 years.
Okay, so like I said, it's going to be it's a big job, and I think you've done a fine job myself. So, do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion to hire Teresa. Full-time meal under 90-day period.
I'll second that.
All right. Have any discussion? Any member? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Aaron Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith? Ms. Beth Lawson? Yes. Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Shakespeare?
Yes, motion carries. You're stuck with us now.
Thank you.
All right. Number 3, council discussed janitorial bid. Okay, the bid for the janitorial service for the building comes up in August. So, I didn't know it would come up this quick myself until Teresa found that it does come up in August. So we need to,
The bid,
I'm sorry?
it's available the 1st of August or at the end of August?
The 8th day of August, that's when the contract was signed,
Okay.
was the 8th of August, so 8th day of August when it's up. So
Okay.
we need to advertise for, bids for the janitorial service for the building. And the specs are in your packets here with the or in here. Does anybody have any questions about the specs? Anybody want to add anything to or subtract anything from? I think this is the same contract, basic specs that has been done for several years, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true, Beth? It's basically the same specs that's been done.
I believe so. I'm not sure, but I believe it is. They might have added a few things. That's not been really done.
Okay.
It's not been getting done.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do I hear a motion? We advertise for bids, and we probably need to, it's a standard, what, 2 weeks? Okay. Do I hear a motion? We bid this out.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Mr. Patrick Beasley?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith? Ms. Beth Lawson?
Yes.
Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson? Mayor Shakespeare?
Yes, motion carries. All right, number 4. Chris, I'm not going to butcher your last name. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that worked. Chris and Ms. Gwen Brown is here to answer questions that I'm sure a lot of you all have about the home grant. So I'm going to open up the floor for, first of all, does any council members, I'm sure that not a lot of council myself is not familiar with this particular grant because as I understand it's different than previous. If I'm not mistaken, the criteria is more stringent than normal, than we have had in the past, so that may be part of some of the issues, but that's your all's expertise. Does anybody from the council have any questions before I open it up to the audience? Okay. Is anybody who wants to go first? Farron?
Is this a grant nobody got?
This is a home grant, yes, it is, as was stated, different than previous years. We were allowed to do reconstruction activities in the past, but under the new program guidelines, we can only spend a maximum of $40,000 to bring a home up to code, and it has to be brought up to code in its entirety, or we cannot touch the home at all. So that is-
I know all that.
Okay. This is the home grant, yes.
I'm talking about, are they a new one in progress?
Not at the moment.
That's all I wanted to know.
What is your grant cycle on this? I think it's what he may be interested in. How long is this grant? open?
This is open for 2 more years. We have 2 more years to spend the money. So hopefully we can do that. But I do want to say, as I told the mayor before the meeting started, this isn't, having an issue spending the money, finding applicants that are eligible is not just a problem Caryville's going through. It's a statewide issue where communities are having problems spending all the money. And I do also want to emphasize that while we require that there be a cost estimate of under $40,000 to move forward, you also have to take that with a grain of salt a little bit, because it's one thing to get a cost estimate for under the 40, it's another thing to get a bid for under the $40,000 as well.
Right, but you have to have a cost estimate first before you can put it out to bid.
That's correct. That's correct. We have an inspector that comes and does a cost estimate, an inspection report. It is verified through the state's third-party inspector, and also the state of Tennessee reviews the write-ups and cost estimates as well. So I know that there's some discrepancies with some of the items that were listed, what the costs may be, but that would go through 2 more additional inspectors as well.
Okay.
And these are typically the prices that we see associated with the line items that are referenced.
One of the things Heather and I talked about on Friday was if somebody went in and applied for an EFRA, what do they call theirs? It's generally insulation, heating.
The weatherization?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If they were successful in doing that, then they could follow back up with you all, right?
That's correct, they could. Now, I'm not sure how long that would take. I've not worked in that program before.
Okay.
But that is something that they could do. However, in the meantime, I would encourage more people to apply. And I think we do have more people that are applying in order to spend the money within the 3-year time frame, and we're already 1 year in.
Okay. The inspector that you all use, or that's being used now, is from Byrdstown.
That's correct.
Uh, What type of certification does an inspector have to have?
He has to be licensed through the state fire marshal's office and licensed in the state of Tennessee.
Because I knew there was a special qualification they had to have through the state before they could do it.
My question on it was, some of the prices that they've estimated some of these houses will seem like it's awful high for this area. I can see it being, well, maybe Knoxville, Oak Ridge area, but up here, I can't see it being as high as it is, so I don't know where they come up with those numbers at.
Well, you know, one thing that we can do is we can have them take another look at it. Another thing as well is they have their subcontractors that they typically use as well, and of course that could affect it as well.
Right.
You know, this person that we use, he's the son of a general contractor who participates in the program.
But
So
not
he
on
can-
the houses that we.
Not on the houses that he inspects, not on the houses that he inspects. So we can have him take a look at that again, but the main issue is I'm not quite sure if we can shave enough off those cost estimates, because when the state looks at a cost estimate and they see it come in at about 36, 37, they're going to tell you to proceed with caution. Because I can tell you that it is rare working under this program that contractors, when they submit their bids, it's rare that they submit them right at or below the cost estimates. They're typically 15 to 20, sometimes 30% more.
I could see a contractor out of Knoxville, or like I say, Oak Ridge, Anderson County area, especially Oak Ridge, because they're just a lot more expensive than the contractors that work in this area here. And you have contractors that do remodeling in this area here, and contractors in that area, it's time to build new homes. So I think they're a little high with their estimates, is my concern.
Lord, the contractors are ones that's been following this program for years. And I think several years back when we were doing new construction or reconstruction, we tried to get some La Follette contractor bid. He was always high.
Yeah, I know during the the rebuilding of homes back several years ago, they used a lot of local contractors though, didn't they?
Only one I remember being local was Billy Douglas from Jellicoe.
I know David Gunningham worked to build houses.
David did work, David did. But if you know of a local contractor who meets the state's requirements for being a licensed general contractor, then have him or her fill out an application and get approved to bid on the project.
Like we was speaking a while ago, most of the local contractors here, they're so busy, they don't, with work, they don't have time or wouldn't have time to do the jobs.
And it's not always difficult to get new contractors to show up to the pre-bid conference, but at the pre-bid conference, we go over all the program guidelines, and it is difficult sometimes to get the new contractors to submit bids based on the guidelines. For instance, they get paid twice throughout the life of a project, and more times than not, they're completely finished with the job before they even get that first paycheck.
The only thing I'm concerned about, I just want to try to help these people get their home repaired, and that's not.
No, I understand that completely.
If they're over a few $1,000s, that's, it's hard done. And if we maybe have another contractor come in, like she was saying, maybe shave some of that cost off.
Right. And another thing is, we can, even if we attempted to move forward, we would still have to order a lead-based paint risk assessment along with the third-party inspector. I believe that's $1,150. And if we could never get the house under contract, if we couldn't get a good bid for under the 40, the grant won't cover that cost, and the town would be responsible.
That's what Lynn was telling me, that you have to bring in the whole house up to code, or not doing it at all.
Yeah, it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
So it's not a piecemeal type thing, it's,
Not at all. It's a liability issue. It's all or nothing.
Like Ethra could come in and replace a roof,
Mhm.
they'll address whatever the emergency program is. Now, I'm just wondering if ETAD has that emergency.
In the emergency repair
They
as
still
well.
have
They
that.
still have that. Right now, they don't have any funds.
Oh. Well,
But
I had questioned, one of the big questions I had was the HVAC coming in at 9,000, because we all know that that's generally subbed out.
Yeah.
But when I talked to Heather on, one of the things that she stressed too is it has to be brought up to THDA code,
in which standards?
which is what we think of comparable to HUD, and it has this quality assurance inspection. So I think that is one of the things that most local licensed contractors don't bid them because of those two. Because if they don't comply with that, then the money's not released.
And it has to meet certain energy requirements as well for the HVAC system and insulated ductwork as well, so it's not just for standard
So they have
HVAC
to
units.
inspect all the duct work or replace it.
That's it.
And
That's
then,
correct.
and it has to be put back at code,
Mhm.
at the required standard.
so it's very restrictive.
It is very, very restrictive. And like I said, it's a statewide problem.
And you might want to share that they haven't spent the monies
Right.
for the 2012.
Yeah, there's a lot, the 2012, 2013 grants, they still haven't even spent half of that money yet
Because of
this issue. There's one community that I'm working in that had 45 applicants, we've done 4 houses.
So if everything is so strict with this grant,
Mhm.
then why even go through the grant process and put it out there for our, our community? Like that gentleman, I mean, he's upset because they think that there's money available out there to help them. And then when you go through the process, everything is so strict, and if they've not even used money from way back then,
Mhm.
then that's just like basically false advertisement. I mean, you're getting these people's hopes up.
Well, a lot of times it's a 3-year contract for a reason because it takes a long time. They awarded the 2012-13 grants actually in 2014. And we actually started the rehab activities about a little more than a year ago. I can speak personally for the ones that I've administered. And there's some communities where it has worked out well, and there's other communities where it hasn't. But whenever we were applying on behalf of Caryville, we still hadn't gotten in that deep in those programs yet. So it was, we didn't understand the extent to which this would be an issue. But our firm has petitioned THDA to allow us to lift that $40,000 cap to maybe 50 or 60, and perhaps even allow us to do reconstruction again. I have another community, they've gone through their priority list, and they had extra funds, and they are going to request to reconstruct a house on their priority list as well. I think there's a couple of other communities that are doing that, and as I was speaking before to the mayor, it doesn't hurt to ask if Caryville would like to do that. I can draft something and let you all look at that.
Sure, I mean, that cap, I would like to see it raised up to at least 60,000.
Yeah, how many people sits on that board?
On THDA's board, I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. I'm not quite
They
sure.
need to limber up on the restrictions or limber up on the cap, one of the two.
But then you get into the situation though, if you was to raise it to $50,000 or $60,000 to fix some of these homes, which I've not seen them, I don't even know who's applied or, I don't know what their homes look like. But I'm thinking $50,000 or $60,000, you can almost reconstruct a house for these people, probably.
And under the new program, that was the guideline.
Yeah.
It took that much money, then you get a new home.
Right.
And I think they looked at at one time, the federal government was gonna cut the program because it wasn't showing the level of productivity in terms of the money spent and the outcome, because if you're spending $100,000 on a house and you have 500,000, that's maybe 5 homes, 4,
Right.
maybe. Here with the rehab, you could get
10 or 11 or
10,
12,
11 or 12.
if you had the applicants.
So they started looking at volume rather than actually meeting the needs of the community.
Which in turn, it hurt more than helped.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's hurt.
At the rate we're going, we're not gonna help nobody.
Yeah.
That is hurt, they're wanting to show more numbers, and it's hurting everybody. Because I remember back before, when they did reconstruction, we've done what, 4 or 5 year, or 5 or 6? We've done several reconstructions in Caryville.
And some rehabs.
Yeah, you have done, we have done
rehabs
reconstruction.
at that time could exceed $40,000. I mean, you had to justify why you had to spend that much money. But we did rehabs as well.
And mobile home replacements.
And mobile homes are no longer eligible now. Yeah, we did mobile home replacements.
Yes, we did, I remember that too. But by all means, I would be in favor of you drafting something up to loosen that up. And if we have to, get on board with other towns or other municipalities, maybe in numbers, it might help you get enough cities and towns to ask for that. Maybe we can do that.
Are they talking to their local representatives?
One community, they've asked, and I've said, yes, you should speak to your local representative.
That's no problem. That's no problem talking to our representative, interstate senator.
And then copy them on the letter.
But like I said, I have no problem with. Do you need something official from us requesting that, or let's do it this way. Do I hear a motion that we request your firm to draft a letter or whatever it is to
The THDA, yeah.
Yes.
I'll make that motion
I'll second.
to loosen
To increase the amount.
Increase the amount.
Yes, to
Okay.
increase the amount.
He'll work. Okay, do the work. Discussion. Call roll, please.
Mr. Patrick Peatland?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eric Smith? Ms. Beth Lawson? Yes. Mr. Dwayne Gibson?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd Lawson?
Yes.
Mayor Stixberry?
Yes, motion carries. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
They turned me down, then I called them and asked them, why and all. And they told me, she said she will send me another quote, and she has. And it was $12,000 more you know, than the 40,000. It's $52,000. And there's no way that it would take $52,000 to redo my home. No way. I've been in construction all my life, and I know the prices out there. And I don't see it. I'd like the contractor to come at my house, and I will get that. A couple, or 3 or 4 if I have to. And they can do it, and then we can get together, if you can have them come back in, and we all get together, and they can talk themselves that, you know, about my home, and how much it would take.
That's what I was talking about earlier. These local contractors are a lot cheaper than the contractors out of Knoxville Oak Bridge. You know, I'm like you, it won't cost that much to repair them homes. I think it'd be considerably cheaper than that.
Yeah, I know some contractors that would do it here.
Well, are they licensed?
Yes, ma'am.
Then if you want them to pick up an application to participate in the program, get approved, and then they can bid on the project if they need criteria.
What year was your home constructed, sir?
It was somewhere in the 40s.
It's gonna have to be, has it ever been tested for lead?
No.
It has to go.
But I've worked on it for 28 years. And I've remodeled a lot of it. That's what I'm getting at, this 52,000. I just don't see it. Biggest part, 3/4 of my home is new.
Do you disagree that any of the work items they have on here is not something that
Code violation.
code violation?
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of damage in termite damage and water damage.
Well, there's a lot of this. I could fix myself or have another contractor to do it, you know. I just don't see $52,000 in my home at all.
One of the things that Miss Allen pointed out was if somebody local doesn't do it, then of course the contractor who bids it's going to bid in traveling time. Because I question that as well. And so I think one of the things is we have a lot of licensed contractors in our area, and I think maybe we need to talk to some of these people and let them know that they could get on this list to do these repairs.
I think there was an advertisement.
There was one.
There was one in the paper soliciting contractors in the La Follette Press. So, but it's nothing like one-on-one conversation.
Right. Is there one, we talked about a website, if we could put something like that on a website, I think that would be good. That, because a lot of people don't read the paper, you know.
Does Caryville have a social media page?
We're in the process of
Okay.
getting a fellow to come set up an actual website for us.
Okay.
His father's in Louisville Health.
Okay.
And last time I went to see him, he wasn't in his office, so we're in the process of getting a website put together. As far as local media outlets, there's a couple of media outlet websites. 1450 WLEF, I was talking about your times, which I do have to preface that by saying my actual job at the South County is working with both of those sides.
Okay.
But between them and the press, that covers a large area. And WLEF's also a radio and TV station. So that may be an avenue.
What's that green something?
Green screen, that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
That's, yes.
You can send that.
Yeah.
If Heather could email me that, then I could send it out.
The notice to the contractors?
Yes.
Okay.
Requesting it along with the application package.
But the contractors do have to fill out that application, do have to be approved before they're eligible to even bid on, okay.
But if the money's available for 2 years.
So, you say what, 2 more years?
2 more years.
Okay.
It goes by quicker than you think.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
You kind of like 6 in one hand. and half
But if
dozen in
the,
other in terms of time.
I mean, by all means, if you know any contractors, Mr. Gaylor, that would, soon as, they get this, they'll get the applications for those contractors, they're, you know, they can get with these folks and they can apply and get approved, and they can give quotes and bids just like everybody else.
And again, you know, the energy requirements to drive up the cost as well.
I'd like to say something else. How do they know what the contractor charges if they don't come out and look at it themselves? Just a bunch of pictures is all they're looking at.
Well, that's.
Oh, well, I know, I'm talking to him.
Right.
but-
Well, the gentleman that was out there was a licensed inspector.
No, they wouldn't. There was nobody there but the inspector.
Right. And he's a licensed inspector. He's not a contractor.
I thought you said somebody else.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Sorry.
he's an inspector. And then he would send that write-up onto the state to have them look at it. And then that's when they would send the state's third-party inspector just to go out there and verify that everything was done correctly. He would also take a look at cost estimates, and the state would also look at everything as well. They would look at the pictures, they would look at the description of the work, they would look at the cost estimate numbers.
You know, I've been turned down twice, and I'm not too happy with this. First time, I just let it go, but this time I'm really upset about it. Because I don't see no $52,000 in my home at all. Thank you.
Ms. Longwood, how many times have you been turned down?
I've been turned down about 4 times. About 4 times. That we have signed up for this. Sure have. My house needs a lot of work. I mean, I understand that. But we should have got it.
Where do you live?
I live on Church Court. Right behind the, where the old school used to sit at.
From the Baptist church.
Yes, yeah, right there where the Methodist church is. On that dead end street.
I'm thinking that the last time, if I'm thinking of it's a little white house off the main street up above in Caryville, and then there's a little dead end. Yeah, yeah. We inspected your home for rehab, and it's been 4 or 5 years ago, if not 7 or 8. And it was, I don't know if we were at the limit of the funds or we were the last one on the list. And we didn't have the funds to replace it, and I don't think you wanted
There
to
was like
replace it.
there was $30,000 left.
Left, okay.
That's right.
And we couldn't rehab it for 30, so
Yeah.
we bypassed.
Under that last program, the grant was only $250,000, and that's when they did let us do construction. We only did 3 homes, or maybe 4
We
with the mobile
did.
home,
Mobile home, house.
2 home, and a rehab.
The rehab.
So we only able to do 4 homes, which is the downside to reconstruction is you can only address fewer homes.
Anyone else have any more questions, concerns for those like gentlemen? No, like I said, we can contact our representative and see if that will help, and if he drafts that document to partner with these other municipalities asking for a raise in the ceiling price, maybe that can help. That's about all we can do.
So they are, other cities having the same problem?
Yes.
It's not just us.
No, it's definitely not just you. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I'd like to look forward to that.
That's all we, and I say encourage local contractors to pick up an application from Greg
So send it to
and get on there to where they can bid, maybe bid some lower. That's basically all we can do. But we'll do everything we can to do that.
Right, we've got to get the cost estimate past the state as well, but they have to sign off on it as well first, so, I mean, we're gonna have the inspector take a look at these numbers again and see if he can cut wherever he can, but just, I can't emphasize enough though, that once it gets to that $36,000, $37,000, it can be tricky, especially if we can't get that home under contract. But we'll also have him take a look and see if there's anything that he could possibly remove. Floor coverings, if it's not absolutely necessary, we get our inspectors to remove that from the write-up. Painting, we get them to remove that from the write-up as well. So we'll have them take a look and see if there's anything that he could possibly
So
remove from
that
these
just
write-ups.
gets these things up to standard, right? These
Up
houses.
to code,
Well,
correct.
because like, on one of these that we were looking at, we seen one that just, they said like crawl, access, and junk removal and stuff like that. To me, I'm thinking, it's your house, that's your responsibility, you know?
I saw that, yeah.
Or, and then the other one had something else on it. You know, there's certain things on here, I understand it, I guess they have a certain paper or whatever they look at and say this needs to be or whatever. But some of that stuff you would almost think would be the responsibility of the homeowners.
Correct, and for various reasons, it's not always done, whether it's because they're disabled or, you know, some people, don't have the funds to do it.
But I think the guy, one of your homeowners that whose home we went to in another community, it was horrible, not under the house, but in the house. We told him that you want the help, you clean this house up.
And the contractor ended up doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, do they gotta be 40,000 or under? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, unless there's lead-based paint in the home, then whatever has lead-based paint doesn't count against that 40,000. But that's the tricky scenario because you take a risk. If you test a home for lead and say it has a 46,000.
Okay, what if lead's not the issue? The lead
Yeah.
paint? Huh?
Then you're back where you are, you don't, the home is above limit. If it was tested for lead, then some of those things, if it tested positive for lead, you'd have to pay someone to come out and conduct the testing. That was about $800-something, the initial testing.
It's about 800.
$800 for
Okay.
the initial testing.
Well, I'm a contractor, and I've been a contractor for many years. These numbers right here are not suitable to me, and I tell you why. They're all even numbers, every single one of them. You've got 13 items right here on Peggy's house. If they shaved $500 off each one of them bids, that'd get them pretty close to where they need to be for the money. So I'm saying these numbers are not accurate, right down to the dime. They're estimated. They're estimated.
They're estimates, and they probably have.
I know what they've done. I know exactly what
And
they've
then
done.
if it says HVAC with all new ductwork, they look at the square footage, and that's what the estimate's gonna be. You know,
They
that's what it's.
put 9,000 on both of the ones I looked at.
Yeah, that's,
It-
that's,
those are-
seems like it's
those
double
are-
what it should be.
Those are throwed out numbers.
But the guy that's doing it's from Birdstown. You know, and that is west of Jamestown. That's what I'm saying, if we had more local people doing the work and becoming certified to work in the program.
Well, the program is to help the people, isn't it?
Yes.
The people that, okay, these people wouldn't even have jobs if they didn't need houses. Am I not right? Okay. The program wouldn't be necessary, is that right?
If the people didn't need their homes worked on,
Mhm.
that's true.
Okay.
So hopefully we can maybe try to get, like I said, get some local contractors to bid, to get certified to bid, or quote, or estimate, whatever you want to do. But we've got to get some local, get some local people involved,
they need to get more serious about it and come and look at it and get these numbers down right to the dollar. And that way, that's why the money's tied up.
Well, you know, it says, you know, these are estimates, it's not actual bid. So, actual bid could be higher or lower.
But some of these contractors come in, they say it's a state program, that's where we'll get what we can.
Right, I agree with you, I agree.
Is it?
I'm not knocking the program, I'm just
No, it's a great
knocking the
program,
numbers.
it's a great program. But if you're gonna help nobody, it ain't worth doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's why
That's why I said
program's for.
it's so restricted now, nobody qualifies. Basically, that's what it is. I mean, they restrict it so much.
It's not the contractor's fault, it's THDA and I guess HUD, because
For making it so restricted
for making them so restricted.
to get their numbers up. They want numbers instead of helping people.
They want quantity instead of quality.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when if they can show where they've helped 10 people instead of 5 people.
Has there been contractors out to these homes or just the inspector?
Just an inspector.
I think that's some confusion. There's only been an inspector who comes out and says, this needs to be upgraded or this needs to be upgraded. And the program probably allots so much for heating and air, correct? And so much for water damage.
Well,
Based on,
as long as everything together comes in under the.
Right, but it's not actual contractor who's came out and
Well,
said.
they can't get under 40,000 if they don't get their pencil sharpened.
Hear that?
But it has to go through the process with the inspector, and then it has to be signed off on in Nashville with codes, and they've got about 3 steps before they ever bid it. And this includes, as long as we don't have local people bidding it, this includes built-in travel for people from Knoxville and everywhere else to come up here and do the work, and they are factoring that in.
I agree, that's something.
I was on the phone quite a while on Friday and had been on the email all last week crunching these numbers because I'm where you all are. The only other suggestion I would have is I looked through and what you were saying, the ETHRA grant and some of the other grants up here. With this estimate, they can see what areas in the homes that and some of this could be covered by some of the other grants. And if they zeroed in and said, okay, like this one has insulation and vapor lock at the barrier, and then it also has a high HVAC. Well, if they could get the ETHRA grant to cover that, that would get the Smallwood down.
Yeah.
Under 40.
They could,
Easily.
on the average, not fluctuate $500.
same thing for Theron too.
Same thing with roof, you know.
I didn't look at that.
Does the ETHRA cover roofs?
I know.
That's weatherization, that covers roof also, doesn't it?
And I know that one of them that I looked at had a guttering on it, and I know that they covered that. So that's why I was thinking.
It's probably mine.
$500 on that.
So I think it's going to be some networking here,
Guttering, it was.
so we can provide the service. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Otherwise, the inspector writes it up, sends it to Nashville.
Yep.
And then if they do all of that and the bid comes in high, they still can't complete the project and no money is released.
Well, I don't know the size, I know the Smallwood, I know your home is not a big home. Mr. Gaylor, I don't know if yours is a big home too. Both HVACs are $9,000.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the square footage of each home, so obviously, that's just like you said, that's just a number they've thrown out there.
Yeah,
They've not.
It's like that is generic HVAC number that they built.
Right.
That's what it seems.
But, you know, that's, like I said, if you're talking.
It's a plug-in number.
Right, that's what I'm saying, they go by square footage. I don't know, like I said, I don't know the size difference of the homes, but I don't think $9,000, the same HVAC is not gonna fit both.
Well, here's my deal, is the program is supposed to help the community, not the people working for the program.
That's what I mean, they restricted it so much that
So what they need to do is, they need to get more serious about it.
Well, that's
Because
what,
if we don't get it, somebody else is gonna get it.
yeah, but it sounds like hardly anybody's getting it right now because it's so restricted. Gwen, I'm sorry.
Well, they need to get something straight then.
Well, that's what we're gonna try to do is, we can talk to Dennis Powers, our representative, and try to,
That's a Dennis Powers, Kenny Yeager issue.
it is,
That's who we gotta go to at this point, because these people are above our pay grade,
yes.
you know.
And, you all are hamstrung by the regulations, you know. I know that, you all are hamstrung by what, you've got the criteria, you have to meet that.
Right.
So, until the criteria is loosened, you're all hands are tied.
You can't lowball your estimate because that third party is gonna look at, right now, this is just an estimate to see whether or not it's within the limit or outside the limit. If it was
Well, how
within the
close
limit,
will they have to get?
well, if they wanted 40,000,
I mean, I'm not picking on you guys.
oh, I understand.
I'm not picking on nobody, but my question is how close they gotta be.
Well, he said what, about 36,000?
The state's gonna tell you to proceed with caution.
I understand that.
And
Say you're
be
4 or
willing
5
to take
thousand
the risk
But
to
you can
pay.
take $600 off each one of these estimates and get them to fine tune it, and it will work for the small woods.
Well, they could, are they gonna look at the two that's 47? Because right now, this is a general estimate, they've not come out and done a work write-up, which at that point, he would measure the linear footage of the, ductwork that would have to be replaced, times an estimated
But this-
cost factor. But right now, this is just to determine if it's got all these elements that's wrong with the house, we know that a general cost is gonna be this. So you're addressing HVAC, electrical, foundation, those are the cost items, plumbing, HVAC, and, what? Those are big, the roof.
Electrical?
Electrical, yeah.
I
I mean,
seen
you're
that.
addressing all
One of
the
them-
major things.
One of them, the termites was
Oh, yeah, the
$8,000.
termite damage.
That's more than anything on there.
The
What I'm
termite
saying.
damage,
Except for that, so-
you
And that was me.
Mr. Gibson, but let me tell you, we were here at a house in Caryville, and we drove up, we said, oh, that's a nice rehab. Nice siding, nice. The only thing that was holding that house up was the siding.
I know what you're saying. I know what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
it had to be replaced. Because it was eaten up with termites, and it was
Ma'am, who'd you say that there's even for termites?
another house that we had done
Around
7
here?
years ago.
Oh, okay. I thought you was talking about mine.
No, I don't, no,
No, she didn't. say
Okay,
nothing
I'm sorry.
like that.
no, not your house.
Well, like I said, that's all, we will, like I said, we will get in contact with our representatives, and when you all get that document drawn up, I'll be glad to sign it and get the, try to help, we'll do everything we can within our power to try to call and try to help. But I guess the main thing right now will be trying to get some local contractors, if you know any local contractors, get them in contact with Greg and get the applications and let them, apply and get approved, and then they'll be eligible to bid on this work also. But like our attorney said, you've got contractors coming out of town and they build in travel time.
Yeah.
And it just, but like I said, if, we can do that, and we'll try our best to, all of us everybody needs to be calling your representative, call and talk to them. Get on the phone, talk to them. It's a state, I'm sorry, is this state, not federal, is this state, or is it federal also? Or is it-
It's HUD funds.
It's HUD funds.
It's HUD funds,
So it
so
probably wouldn't hurt to contact Chuck Flossman.
it wouldn't hurt to contact him, all the way up to senator, whatever we need to do. So people, I encourage y'all to make phone calls, call your representatives. The more phone calls they get, if you get 5 phone calls, you get 10 or 15 phone calls, then they start listening. So you need to be talking to these folks.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you really need to, because right now, the action in Washington is to cut all these federal programs out. All the ones that you benefit from, ARC, community development, grant funds, economic development, EDA funds. You've had all of those, the home funds, you've had all of these funds, and they're talking about cutting them out, eliminating.
Well, like I said, we need to,
But
everyone
that's
needs.
talk, a lot of the representatives don't agree, but, I mean, you really need to let them know the importance.
Like I
If
said,
they
everybody needs to
If
be,
they don't hear nothing, they ain't.
that's
gonna
right.
do
No, that's
Everybody needs to be
I'm not
bringing
saying
them
nothing bad about them, I'm just saying you can't address a problem that you don't know about.
So, like I said, everybody needs, like I said, as soon as you get that drawn up,
Sure.
get that to us, and we'll gladly sign it and see what we come up with. Anybody else have anything come before the board? If not, your motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Thank you all.
Thank you.